Good morning, everyone. Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. Today is Friday, May 8th, 2016. And we're happy to be here on JDB's Morning Cap. We know how much we're excited about this show. We have a handful of stuff to get into. So we can do all things to take care of. Because today, this is the 87th episode of JDB's Morning Cap. So we have a handful of stuff to get to here today. So let's get started. All right, we'll start off with the biggest news that we talked about it yesterday. NCAA tournament for both men's and women's college basketball. The NCAA tournament will expand to 76 teams, which means the 8 teams who didn't make the tournament in their respective divisions, like men's NCAA tournament and women's NCAA tournament, 8 teams in their respective divisions did not make their respective tournaments last year. So history will be made next season. So does it help or does it hurt or like I said, does it help or hurt? I think it helps because now we can see teams that can get into the tournament. However, that you still need four quadrant rules. You need to win. You gotta win every quadrant game, like quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, quad 4. You gotta win those quad games to qualify for the NCAA tournament. So for each in every other team. So let's just say this. So how the NCAA tournament will make 76 teams in a tournament. So here's how this is going to work. Instead they're going to put first 4 or so it goes like this. It's going to call a 12-game round with future 24 teams playing for a spot in the main bracket. So it's just like NBA play-in tournament. Let's say it's a wild card round. 12-game round, it's a wild card round for both men's and women's basketball. And then team selection, the extra 8 spots are designated for at-large bids, bringing the total to 44 at-large and 32 automatic qualifiers. So it goes like this. Who plays in the opening round? The 12 lowest seed automatic qualifiers considered conference champions. The 12 lowest seeds at large teams. So the main bracket integrity, once the opening round concludes, the field returns to a standard 64 team bracket, preserving the traditional Thursday and Friday first round start. So it is the same schedule, but it's a different. For the men's, opening round games will start Tuesday and Wednesday after selection Sunday. The men's sites, you play half of 6 games on Tuesday, half of 6 on Wednesday. For the women's, similar but different. They have different regions. Opening round games will start Wednesday and Thursday next year. Games will be hosting on-campus sites designated as first and second round hosts. So let's just say this. Do I like this rule next year? Do I like that rule? Yeah, I love it. But the only thing I don't like is the final 12 teams, including, or those who represent conference champions for next year, will be in the tournament. But there's still, so let's say the final 12 conference teams wins the conference titles, will, as the lowest, we still manage to be in the tournament. Let's say a non-conference champion, several non-conference champions will likely not get in, including major Division I teams in their respective divisions, both men's and women's. It could help. It's better than the first 4, honestly. Instead, there's 8 games through 2 days. There's 12 games in 2 days. You get 6 in day 1, 6 in day 2. That makes sense. Which means there's many spots will be filled for several regions. For the men's, it's East, West, Midwest, South. For the women's, it is a city it's a city region. Last year it was Fort Worth and Sacramento regions for the women's basketball in last year's tournament. And now, this year, this is a golden opportunity to make it happen. So we talk college basketball. How about college football playoff expansion? When they're going to talk about that? We're still remaining. How many teams? Right now it's still 12. They're still talking about 16 or 24 teams in a CFP next season. They're still discussing it. They could talk about it later on during this year's college football season as well. So as of now, we still have 12. Next year, they could expand up to 16 and 24 teams in the CFP. So if it's like a 16 team, we're still going to have some conference champions, at-large teams. Then the lowest remaining seeds could get into the tournament, part of this resume. If it's a 16-team college football playoff, which means there could be more group of 5 teams involved in the college football playoff. If it's 24 teams, there will be several more group of 5 teams in college football. In the last couple of years, I believe we have 3 teams. We have 3 teams. 3 group of 5 teams have been into the CFP in each of the last couple of years. Last year was James Madison and Tulane. In 2024-25, who made a college football playoff bracket last year? Any group of 5 team made a college football playoff. Boise State, right? Boise State was a group of 5 team last year. Boise State won the Mountain West last year. They were the group of 5 team. And then actually it was 2. The other group. Actually, and then that was 2 seasons ago, actually. And then last year, James Madison and Tulane were 2 group of 5 teams were in the CFP the previous season in 2025-26 college football playoff. I mean, there's several factors right now. We're talking about potential difference between 76 teams in the both men's and women's basketball college NCAA tournament and possible 16 or 24 team college football playoff. It's not there yet. This year, it's still a 12 team college football playoff. Next year, we'll see either 16 or 24 teams in the college football playoff. So they're still discussing later on during the college football season. So there's a lot of chaos going on in college football. So we've been discussed this for I have been discussed it before. And now I've been discussing for the first time today about the expansions of the tournament and the college football playoff, possible expansion of the college football playoff. But if you like that, this is a great differences. So let's just say this. Next year it's gonna be even wilder. But with all the better, this is really different. You play 6 games. You play 12 total games. In 2 days. That's a lot of work. Which means can start the tournament a whole lot earlier than really expected. You want to start the tournament earlier than you like. Because of that, you wouldn't have a problem with it. Even you don't. Even you don't have a problem with it. Just relax. You want to start something, right? You can always take this tournament away from it. And that'll be it. So I applaud that. That would be the NCAA tournament you really want to have. All right, when we come back, we'll talk Lakers and the Thunder. The Lakers, it's been a poor officiating in OKC last night. And also coming up is James, who is the biggest blame in this playoff struggles for the Cavaliers so far this postseason. Cavs Pistons, we'll recap game 2. Also, we'll preview tonight's game 3 in Minneapolis and Philadelphia. New York is up 2-0. Series between San Antonio and Minnesota are even at 1 apiece. So we'll find out who controls game 3 in Minneapolis. We will step away in a matter of moments. All right, so game 2 of the Western Conference semifinals, the Lakers battle the Thunder. The Lakers have kept the Thunder close once again before Thunder exploded in the rest of the game in the fourth quarter. The fouls, Chet Holmgren and SGA had combined 44 points, 22 points apiece. SGA is not quite himself through the first 2 games of the semifinals, but they're still finding ways to win. AJ Mitchell was a big story, 20 points. And Jared McCain came up huge as well with 18 points and 4 made 3-pointers as Thunder takes game 2 with a 125-107 win, and they take 2-0 against the Lakers. So far, they're 6-0 in the postseason for the Thunder. They're 6-0 so far against the Lakers, and the Thunder has won 7 in a row against the Lakers dating back to last season. And the Lakers are missing a bunch of calls against them. Austin Reeves is frustrated with the officiating in here. And JJ Redick expressed his frustration with officiating last night. So here's my question. What's been going wrong with with the officiating last night in OKC? The referees have been bad last night. On the 5:42 mark in the fourth quarter, LeBron James originally made a basket. It was a foul on the Thunder. Then the referee waved it off. And then JJ Redick assessed a technical foul in the first quarter when the player called a foul or missed a foul call, something like that. And then JJ Redick, and then Austin Reeves got into Goebel's face. He got into it with the official. And then he had words with Goebel at the end of the game. And there's a chance he'll get fined upon review. So I mean, it's been hard. The Lakers are going through it right now. I mean, the Lakers have been going through series of missed calls of last night's game. They've been clearly voice of the displeasure. If it wasn't for these missed calls, Lakers would have won the game. Austin Reeves did have a good game. He had 31 points and 3 threes. At least he showed up. Despite the 5 turnovers and 5 fouls. I mean, it is so difficult to understand where all this comes from. The reason why the Lakers are 0-2, they're just unable to execute enough offensively. They had 20 turnovers in that game last night. They shot better than game 1. They shot 50% from the field, 38 from downtown. But they just defensive not generate any stops. They give up a lot of threes. They give up high leverage field goal percentages. And they surrender some offensive rebounds. They just don't have that right. Lakers don't have enough firepower to beat the Thunder in this series. I mean, as long as you keep Thunder close, you gotta win 1 or 2 games. If you lose in 6, you'll take it. If Lakers lose in 6 against the Thunder, you'll take it. At least you battle hard. Lakers actually battled well in the first 2 games before things fell apart down the stretch in games. The Lakers need to do a better job sustaining momentum. And they haven't done that so far through the first 2 games in the semifinals. And now you go back home tomorrow. You have to sustain your momentum. If you don't, the season could be over. You still, if Luka Doncic played, they would have evened up the series. I would say they weren't up to they would have evened up that series. The series would have been a whole different without it. Whole different with him, if that's the case. I don't feel any better that you're asking for it. But let's just say the Thunder, let's just say the Lakers, they're missing several opportunities to even up this series. And now you got to figure it out in Game 3 back at home. When you're down 2-0, you gotta beat the Thunder at some point. You lost 7 in a row dating back to last season. You're 0-6 this year against the Thunder. I mean, Thunder is a very good basketball team. We all know that. Meanwhile, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 2-0 in this series. It's not been an SGA show through the first 2 games. It's the supporting cast that's getting it done so far through the first 2 games. So you put yourself on the line, then you would have got everything you asking for it. But as long as you're right there, you just gotta have everything else to go with it in this one here. But best case scenario for the Thunder is to look at this play right there, LeBron James. That should have been an and 1. but they waved it off. Casey Wallace committed a foul when LeBron was trying to shoot. I mean, this is a really, really bad call last night. This is ridiculous. This call has been ridiculous last night. Lakers showed well last night. They're going to officiating, hard officiating last night. Because of poor officiating. It's really bad right now. It's really bad. All right, so what's coming up on JDB's Morning Cap? We'll talk James Harden. Is he the biggest blame for the Cavaliers so far this postseason? We'll talk about that when we come back. The New York Knicks are looking for a 3-0 series. Knicks are up 2-0. The series is shift to Philadelphia. Meanwhile, it's a must-win here in Minnesota between the Spurs and the Timberwolves. Their series is even up at 1 apiece. So we'll give you more details right after this. All right, so welcome back to JDB's Morning Cap. The Cavaliers squared off against Detroit Pistons in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. The game was close once again. The game went down to the wire for the second game in a row in Detroit. Like I said, come down to the final moments of the game in Game 2. It was 94-91 Cavaliers. Correction, 94-91 Pistons. In the final 4 minutes and 59 seconds, the Pistons finished a 13-3 run to end the game. 107-97 Pistons is your final score in Game 2. 14-3 run in the final 4:59 in favor of the Pistons to take Game 2 and takes control 2-0. Kate Cunningham led the way again, 25 points. This time, more efficient shooting, 10 assists. And they take 2-0. Tobias Harris, another solid game, 21 points, 2 3-pointers. Duncan Robinson, 17 points, 5 made 3-pointers. And Dennis Jenkins continues to play well, 14 points, 2 threes, and 6 rebounds and 4 assists. So the Pistons go 2-0 in the best of 7 semifinals of the Eastern Conference. Right now, the Cavaliers have no answers. James Harden with a crucial. James Harden struggles again. 10 points, 3 for 13 from the field, 0 for 4 from downtown, and 4 turnovers. So speaking of James Harden, is James Harden the biggest blame so far in this postseason? Is James Harden Is James Harden the biggest blame in Cleveland so far this postseason? The answer is yes. I think James Harden is to blame, the biggest one this postseason. He's not shot the ball well. He's turning the basketball over. So far, he has more turnovers than made field goals so far in this series. James Harden has 11 turnovers and 9 made field goals so far through the first 2 games of the semifinals. He's not himself. And I damn sure don't trust James Harden this postseason. Here's my problem. You need to figure your ass out and show how well you perform as a team player. And you can do wherever the hell you want to do, but you gotta play smart, James. James, you gotta play smart. Seriously. Don't get too damn cute with the damn ball. We've just been talking about the James Harden turnovers. That's been a giant issue. Let's go back to the let's go to the turnover. Look at this. Look at that. Right there. James Harden starts to start losing the basketball. Right there. Just too much dribbling, too much handling. Look at Thompson. Looked like he tried to get the ball. Azir Thompson got the steal. In a critical moments of the critical moments. It was a 6-point deficit in favor of the Pistons. The turnover occurred around 35 seconds left in the game. Just really poor decision making and poor on-court execution. It's been this way through the first 2 games in this series, and so far for the majority of this postseason. In those losses, James Harden has struggled with their ball security in the clutch situation. James Harden has more clutch turnovers than any other player in the playoffs. So far, James Harden has committed 47 individual turnovers in the playoffs. That's the most by any other player, not just in the NBA this season, most in the minimum of 7 games, in the minimum of 7 postseason games in the history of the NBA. "47 turnovers. Assist turnover ratio is not that great either. Just a problem you see. James Harden is a hypocrite. Absolutely hypocrite. He turns over quite often with this team. James Harden, you should not be with this team anymore. It's time to pack this thing up." And that wasn't your problem right now. Detroit has given so much credit what they deserve. Do you think the Cavs could get swept if they don't win tomorrow in Game 3? Oh, hell yeah. They might get swept in the first round. Cavaliers might get swept in the second round. That's been looming for, yet I don't blame Donovan Mitchell quite a bit. If Cavaliers do not get past second round, Donovan Mitchell could be 0-5 in second round playoffs. And this is his 9th season in the NBA. James Harden has spent a few more seasons than Mitchell. Harden's got to the NBA Finals one time. He's got to the conference finals, I think, 3 times of his career. So he has some experience, but Donovan Mitchell has not had experience. So how the Cavs can get over this hump after being down 2-0? You're good at your home floor. You're 4-0 at home in the playoffs, comparing to 0-5 on the road in the playoffs. So if you lose, you get swept, or you lose in 5 games, then we're not going to see James Harden with the Cavs uniform next season. Unless they could be one of the most dangerous teams in the East. I just don't trust not just James Harden in the postseason. I don't trust the Cavs in the playoffs that much. Pressure's on Cleveland. They got to figure it out. All right, come next. We'll talk Wolves and Spurs preview. Game 3, the series is even up at 1 apiece. Who will take Game 3 of the series? Also coming up, we'll talk Knicks and the 76ers. The series shifts to Philly. We'll also talk about that as well. We'll talk about that next. All right, coming up tonight, Game 3 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, we got the New York Knicks will travel the Philadelphia 76ers as the series hits to Philly. Knicks with a 2-0 series advantage. Knicks come off a 108-102 Game 2 win in New York. Let's see if the Knicks can go 3-0 here tonight. So the question is how the Knicks could go 3-0 series here tonight. So let's just say this. We know OG Anunoby is questionable to start tonight. OG Anunoby is dealing with the hamstring. Josh Hart is on the injury report. He's dealing with a thumb injury. Mitchell Robinson is dealing with illness for the New York Knicks. So they had some injuries to concern with. So now here's your point. You just got to get through the process for the New York Knicks. The Knicks had to rely on Jalen Brunson. Potentially, if these guys are out, possibly out tonight, if these guys are out tonight, either it's Anunoby, Hart, or otherwise other Knicks players out, then Jalen Brunson will have to score all by himself. Well, that puts Sixers could be in a better position to take Game 3 to keep their series alive. But Karl-Anthony Towns must stay on the floor because you're on the road. Because the foul is going to call against you, Karl-Anthony Towns. So if you don't stay on the floor, it's going to be a long night for the New York Knicks. So they need to do something real easy. But I said I'm confident Knicks go 3-0 tonight, but I don't know that it's possible they can go 3-0. But this is what happened. You put yourself in a really desperate position because of that. Now the New York Knicks, they can do everything you can and all that stuff, but you got to do it. You do what you're supposed to do. Don't mess that up. You do not mess this thing up. So, and that's what New York Knicks is all about. Mike Brown really wants to know what is going on with these injuries. OG Anunoby left Wednesday's game in the final minutes in the game with a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's going to play tonight or not, so we'll have to find out if he's playing or not in Game 3 of the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. Knicks already up the series 2-0. They'll try to take the first 3 games of the semifinals. They're 2 wins away from second consecutive trip to the Eastern Conference Finals for the New York Knicks. So if they can win they can win tonight and Sunday, then they can wrap this series up as soon as Sunday if they can win today. They can win Game 3 and Game 4. Game 3 today, Game 4 on Sunday. So they win tonight and Sunday, and the Knicks could move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Meanwhile, for the Philadelphia 76ers, despite being down 2-0, I'm still confident that Philadelphia can get back in this series. On Wednesday, they should have won. They moved the ball really well, but like I said, they struggled in the fourth quarter. They struggled with turnovers, lack of execution offensively, lack of shot selection was poor on Wednesday night in the fourth quarter. Now, can the Sixers get over the hump in Game 3 tonight to keep their series alive? Joel Embiid did not play their last game. He suffered an ankle injury. Joel Embiid tonight is questionable. If he plays tonight, I think Philadelphia 76ers will try to take Game 3 to keep their series alive. Just get back in the series. If you win Game 3, you're in a better position to even up this series. That's a must. That's a must win for the low-man team. This is a golden opportunity to take Game 3. If you take Game 3, you're still trailing the series. If you win Games 3 and 4 between tonight and Sunday afternoon, then this could be best of 3. When I look at their schedule, Game 5 is Tuesday, Game 6 Thursday, Game 7 next Sunday on May 17th. May 17th will be Game 7, if necessary. All these games are the last 3, Games 5, 6, and 7, all if necessary. Knicks do not want to be in that poor position to do that. If Knicks want to end this series early as 5 games or sooner, then you got to do that. Pistons are 2-0. So if both Knicks and Pistons win the next 2 games, it could be Knicks and the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. Pistons are 3-0 against the Knicks in the regular season. So, if that's the case, then that would be that. So, let's see if Philadelphia can test things out here and making sure they can put it all together at this point on. So, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals, Knicks up 2-0. So, in Game 3, and this is a goal difference. that you really gotta ask for it. Who needs to step up for Game 3 for the 76ers tonight if they want to put the series on the board? I'm going to say Kelly Oubre Jr. is got to be the most important player in Game 3. He needs to perform in a high level if they want to put this series on the board. That's going to be the key. He needs to score at least 20 points. I don't care if he scores 25, 30, and 5 8 3-pointers to help your team get a victory in Game 3. You got to perform. He's got to perform at a high level tonight to avoid 3-0 series down. Remember, the Sixers overcame trailing 3-1 deficit in their last round against the Celtics. Now, Sixers just need to win Game 3 to make sure you're not down 3-0. If that's going to be the case. So, in Game 3, who am I picking tonight, Knicks or the 76ers? The Knicks have dealing some injuries right now. So if Joel Embiid does come back, I think this team will win. If he doesn't, then I don't know. I'm not sure they're going to win this game. But I'm confident that 76ers is going to win Game 3. I think they have a chance to get back in this series. If they do win, they could have been up 2-1. They're still going to be trailing 2-1, even if they win tonight. If they don't win tonight, then they could be down 3-0. They could get swept on Sunday if they don't win on Friday night. So I like Philadelphia winning tonight to make sure they don't be down 3-0 against the Knicks. So they should be okay. All right, coming up next on JDB's Morning Cap, we will preview the Spurs and Timberwolves Game 3. The series shifts to Minneapolis, Minnesota. The series is even up at 1 apiece. So we will step away in 3 minutes. All right, we're down to just the final segment of the show. Let's preview between the Spurs and the Timberwolves. Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals. The series is tied at 1 apiece. Game 1 was the Timberwolves pull off the Game 1 upset against the Spurs 104-102. Game 2, Spurs able to dominate the Timberwolves in Game 2, end up 138-95 to even up this series. So what's in store tonight's Game 3 as series shifts to Minneapolis, Minnesota in Target Center? So here's my question right now. What do you think about the Spurs? About what they need to do for Victor Wembanyama to do it tonight in Game 3? They just need to be. They need Victor Wembanyama to put themselves in better position to regain the series, to gain the series, making sure that Victor stays healthy tonight. And De'Aaron Fox, he had a nice bounce back game in Game 2 after a rough Game 1 in a close loss. But we've just been talking about Devin Vassell, Stephen Castle, Keldon Johnson. The Spurs, they're a great basketball team. But at times they're going to go through past battles. I mean, several teams, they can be battle tested. High leverage contending teams can face high pressure moments. And now you go on the road in their hostile territory. This is a game you want to look. You got to play harder. You got to play consistent brand of basketball. And that's that. But I think San Antonio, that time, because of this, This is game 3, and this is the moment of truth for Minnesota. Would you give it or take it? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, but some contributions along the way. We talk about Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. You can make this thing all happen. But just a grand total of you're saying that you're not free to come. But the San Antonio Spurs are the team to come out of this West. We all know that. And that's the difference right now. You can really take it. You can take it to the top. And that will really happen. And that's not a problem, but you can make something happen right now if this is the San Antonio Spurs. We're on for the Minnesota Timberwolves. How the Wolves can reclaim this series lead. We talk about Anthony Edwards and all that stuff. We want to talk about Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels in game 3. Can he make sure he can perform well and rest of his team contributing? I think Jaden McDaniels needs to do that here tonight if they want to regain their series. So, regain their series lead. If that's going to be the case, the Timberwolves are the team they can make it a lot happen. But Minnesota's is like I said, they're an undermanned team. So you would have done your best work that you're supposed to ask for, right? But it's a golden difference. The Timberwolves, maybe you don't have to go through all that stuff again. Ayo Dosunmu has to step up. Mike Conley, he's a 19-year vet. He's a good player. Yeah, group of guys, you've got to come together. Julius Randle has to come together. I mean, somebody has to come together in game 3. Naz Reid. I mean, anyone has to step up other than Gobert and Anthony Edwards. You got Terrence Shannon Jr. You got Bones Highland. You got somebody else has to step up and learn how to play a good brand of basketball. This is a different story right now. Because of that, this is a big opportunity to make this out. But you won't even miss it at all. Because of that, the Minnesota Timberwolves will have to help your own cause because of it. But I do like the fact that the Wolves aren't just going to play in or out of their minds. But you can really say it. You can say all this stuff that you're going to have. But the Timberwolves, what they didn't do in their last game, they did not take care of the basketball. They committed way too many turnovers in their last game. In wins, they take care of the basketball really well. In losses, they struggle with their ball security. I mean, that's been an issue in these losses. So let's just say all this. If Minnesota can take care of basketball here at home in Game 3, you have no problems winning it. If you don't take care of the ball, you could lose the game tonight. You don't want that. You don't want this situation to make it happen. This has to stop. But that's the difference right now. Because of that, you wouldn't have a problem if things wouldn't go away because of that. So I applaud that. But it's not a problem because you're going to put yourself in a really prime position. That the Minnesota, meanwhile, for the San Antonio Spurs, how the Spurs can gain the series lead once again. Like I said, De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Stephen Castle. I mean, it's about on-court contributions for San Antonio. Can Mitch Johnson's team can put this thing together? It's a matter of moments. Because these guys can really play a super amount of confidence they can really play with. So that's that. You got San Antonio Spurs to make sure they can put them all together. And this is a different story right now. And there's nothing else you can really help for. Now you can take it. You can take one step. Now you know any team needs 3 wins to move on to the Western Conference Finals, despite the fact the series is tied. So whoever wins Game 3 tonight has a better shot to go to the Western Conference Finals. Keep that in mind. Thunder has a 2-0 series advantage against the Lakers. So whoever wins this series could face the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, this is a different story that you're asking for it. So if you want to make something happen, you gotta make some noise. Tonight's a big night. Game 3 of the Western Conference Semifinals. You can't ask for a better moment than you're asking for it here. So that's a different story. All right, who would like to win Game 3 tonight and Game 4 on Sunday night? Tonight, Game 3, I like San Antonio Spurs winning Game 3. I believe they can do it on the road. And in Game 4 on Sunday night, I like the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I believe the series will be tied at 2 apiece. Right now, the series is tied at 1. I like Spurs winning Game 3 tonight, and then Timberwolves Game 4 on Sunday night. So that's going to be that in this one. All right, let's close it out. What's coming up on Monday on JDB's Morning Cap? We'll recap the games we played between tonight through Sunday. We'll recap Sunday's and Saturday's game as well on Monday. We'll talk NFL. NFL schedule release begins next week. So I know how excited are we. We've seen some of these schedules are out, but the rest of them will have their schedule, full schedule release for 32 teams next season, including 9 international games in 2026-27 season. It's going to be a change of the NFL. So we're so looking forward to that in this one here. So I just want to say, although Mother's Day is 2 days away, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the moms, the daughters, the nieces, the grandmothers, the aunties, all the women of mothers. So we really appreciate it. All you do for all the moms your sickly, your health, your own moments and all that stuff, and all of your hard work of mothers. All right, that is going to do it. Here. This is JDB's Morning Cap. I hope you have a fantastic Mother's Day weekend. And hopefully you take care of yourself.